Welcome back. Another member of the Heritage Foundation has resigned after the conservative think tank's leader defended right-wing commentator Tucker Carlson's interview with white nationalist and Holocaust denier Nick Fuentes. Princeton University professor Robert P. George announced he's stepping down as board member of the institution because its president, Kevin Roberts, refused to retract the video defending Carlson despite publicly apologizing for it. Now, this comes after several members of the institution's anti-Semitism task force also resigned in protest against Roberts' video. However, President Trump recently defended Carlson's decision to interview Fuentes. Listen.
We've had some great interviews with Tucker Carlson, but you can't tell him who to interview. I mean, if he wants to interview Nick Fuentes, I don't know much about him, but if he wants to do it, get the word out. Let him, people have to decide.
Here with me now is Matt Grossmann. He's a political science professor at Michigan State University. Good morning, Matt. Great to have you with us. So we're using that as one example, but there are many when it comes to divisions within Trump's MAGA movement. How would you characterize the state of the Make America Great Again movement in the wake of a number of controversies?
Well, on the one hand, they are at a high point in terms of political power across the branches of government and across all of these conservative institutions. But obviously, with power comes the potential for breakup. There have been a long-running streak of extremists within the Trump faction of the Republican Party. And there is a sort of unwillingness to be the people who are associated with canceling that faction within the Republican establishment, and fights that have broken out repeatedly along those lines.
What's so ironic when it comes to the Heritage Foundation, its Project 2025 blueprint was a backbone of Trump's policy here in the second term that he appears to be implementing quite successfully. And he also is experiencing a split with Marjorie Taylor Greene, who was one of his fiercest defenders. So what does it mean that we're seeing these fissures at a time when, as you say, they should be celebrating successes?
Well, I don't think it is the major constraint on the Republican Party's ascendance at the moment. It's still the voters that get to push back in the next election. And that's going to come more from traditional concerns about things like inflation and the economy. But certainly within the conservative movement, this is a huge issue because there have been a long-running idea that they could successfully unite these factions and that they could not be judged by the worst impulses of the online young people who were attracted to Trump. And this is a threat to that. And yet it hasn't been very popular to push back against those people or any part of the conservative media infrastructure. And so we're seeing it sort of break up in real time here.
And so just in our last few seconds, do you believe that the MAGA movement can survive beyond Trump's presidency?
Yeah, part of the context is that people are starting to realize, oh, Trump is not the end. He is the beginning, and we want to control what comes afterward. And some people want to see move even further in the direction of the online, what we used to call the alt-right. And some people want to see a return to more traditional conservative institutions. And so I think that's going to play out over the next 3 years in the potential successors to Trump. But I don't think there's any question that Trump will have a huge influence on the future of the Republican Party, and that his MAGA movement is not at all ending here.
Well, Matt Grossmann, great to have your insight on this, joining us from East Lansing in Michigan. Thanks for your time.